Welcome to Pop Culture Icons. I'm your host, Maya Starr. Today on Pop Culture Icons, what if I told you that the very thing holding you back, that nagging feeling of never being done, was actually the key to unlocking your greatest potential? Today, we uncover how Leonardo da Vinci's unfinished masterpieces weren't failures, but rather the seeds of inspiration that would revolutionize art and science for centuries to come, and how you can apply this to your own life. Have you ever stared at something you created, knowing it wasn't quite perfect? In a dimly lit workshop in Milan, 1519, Leonardo da Vinci does exactly that. His trembling hand hovers over the Mona Lisa, her enigmatic smile both beckoning and taunting him. The scent of linseed oil mingles with the musty air as he contemplates another adjustment, another layer, another attempt at perfection. You know this feeling, the nagging sense that your work isn't quite ready, isn't quite right. A messenger bursts through the heavy wooden door, startling Leonardo from his reverie. News of a rival artist's death spreads through the court like wildfire. His eyes drift to the countless unfinished canvases and notebooks scattered around his workshop. Each one represents a dream interrupted, a vision incomplete. You've felt this too, haven't you? The weight of potential, the fear of leaving things undone. Leonardo wasn't supposed to succeed. As an illegitimate son in 15th century Italy, his birth marked him as an outsider. No formal education awaited him, no inherited position in society. While other children played in the streets of Vinci, young Leonardo wandered the countryside alone, filling crude notebooks with sketches of flowers, birds in flight, and the flow of water over rocks. His mind couldn't be contained by convention. Sound familiar? When society pushes you to the margins, sometimes that's exactly where the most interesting view can be found. The Tuscan hills became his first classroom. While others learned from books, Leonardo learned from the curve of a leaf, the spiral of a snail's shell, the way light danced through morning mist. His fingers traced patterns in clay, his eyes absorbed the flight of birds, his mind constantly questioning, wondering, seeking. When others mocked his endless questions, his peculiar habits of writing backward, his tendency to abandon one fascination for another, Leonardo kept pushing forward. He knew somehow that his flaws were actually his strength. At 14, Leonardo entered Verrocchio's workshop in Florence. Imagine the scene: the clatter of tools, the scratch of charcoal on paper, the master's critical eye watching every stroke. Young Leonardo excelled quickly, his talent undeniable, but his methods, those raised eyebrows. He dissected corpses to understand anatomy. He studied mathematics to perfect perspective. The other apprentices followed the rules. Leonardo broke them, remade them, then broke them again. His notebooks began to fill with more than just art. Designs for flying machines soared across the pages. Sketches of human anatomy revealed secrets doctors wouldn't discover for centuries. This wasn't procrastination. This was a mind refusing to be bound by the artificial constraints of completion. If you're enjoying pop culture icons, please like, subscribe, and scan the QR code for our free 7-day email course, The Fame Formula. Discover how unknowns like Elon, Taylor Swift, and Beyoncé became cultural phenomena. Now, back to the episode. In the competitive artistic world of Florence and Milan, deadlines weren't suggestions. They were survival. Leonardo's patrons grew increasingly frustrated with his methodical pace, his endless experimentation. The Last Supper took years longer than promised. the Mona Lisa remained eternally unfinished. When was the last time you chose depth over speed, quality over quotas? Watch him at work on The Last Supper. While other artists followed traditional fresco techniques, Leonardo experimented with new methods, layering his paints differently, seeking deeper colors, more subtle expressions. His anatomical studies informed every brush stroke. Science and art merged on his palette. Sometimes you have to break the accepted rules to create better ones. As age crept up on him, Leonardo found himself in a grand French manor, surrounded by his notebooks, sketches, and unfinished works. His hands shook now, his breath came harder, but his mind remained as restless as ever. Looking back at his life's work, he saw not failure in the incomplete projects, but rather seeds planted for future generations. The irony of Leonardo's legacy is that his failures became his greatest triumph. Those notebooks, filled with half-formed ideas and unfinished sketches, would inspire centuries of inventors, artists, and scientists. His anatomical studies would revolutionize medicine. His engineering concepts would predict technology centuries ahead of their time. Here's what Leonardo's story teaches us. Genius isn't about finishing everything you start. Your unfinished projects, your endless questions, your refusal to settle for conventional wisdom, these aren't flaws to be corrected. So the next time you find yourself stuck between the desire for perfection and the pressure to produce, remember Leonardo. Remember that some of history's greatest contributions came from someone who rarely finished anything, but never stopped exploring everything. What matters isn't the completion, but the quest. And so, in every stroke left unpainted, in every question left unanswered, in every project left tantalizingly incomplete, Leonardo found his immortality. His story challenges you to ask, what will you leave unfinished? What boundaries will you push? What rules will you break in pursuit of deeper understanding? Perhaps it's time to stop seeing your endless curiosity as a curse and start recognizing it as your greatest gift. After all, the most powerful legacy isn't in the masterpieces we complete, but in the possibilities we create for others to explore. On the next episode of Pop Culture Icons, as Leonardo's genius left masterpieces unfinished, we're left wondering, what happens when a creative force can't be contained? Tune in later this week to meet Pablo Picasso, another artistic revolutionary whose relentless spirit transformed the canvas, much like Da Vinci's restless curiosity. But at what cost? Discover how Picasso's journey from childhood loss to artistic rebellion echoes this week's theme of art world revolutionaries and why you won't want to miss his story. Please like, subscribe, and scan the QR code or follow the pinned link to get our free 7-day email course, The Fame Formula. 7 days, 7 brilliant tactics. Learn the mindset to go from invisible to influential using the dark arts of fame engineering. Click the video that just popped up to watch the next one in this series. Or for episode summaries, behind-the-scenes info, and more, go to daily8.com/PCI. Thanks for watching.